Oh, stop. He ain't shoot nothing. He ain't do nothing. Go on back. Hey, what you doing, bro? What you doing right here, bro? What you doing, bro? Hit them boys with a yerb seconds. What's up, man? What y'all doing, bro? What y'all doing, bro? I know y'all looking at me like, what a game at? We gaming or not? Hey, we not gaming right now. I got my gaming scheduled on a scheduled time. You already know what time that is. We gonna game. We ain't never gonna stop gaming. But there's also other things going on in the world, and I just want to talk about it. That's it. We just want to talk about it. That's all. Now, in Hollywood, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of questions, a lot of suggestions, a lot of things going on in Hollywood right now as it pertains to the Black American actor. Okay? It's a lot going on. A lot of talk about Black Panther, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, the lack of the recast of the Black American actor, Wonder Man, being canceled, although a lot of people felt like that was an excellent show. I have not even seen it, guys. I haven't even seen Wonder Man, so I got to go watch it to see what the anger is behind it, because I know a lot of people wanted another season of that. We got Blade. Blade was a mega hit in early 2000s. Everybody loved it. So they're trying to reestablish Blade, and that, keeps getting canceled or pushed back. I don't know what the fact is behind that. I know a lot of people are saying that Blade was canceled. I've heard that it's being pushed back because of scripting. There's a lot around it. We'll do some research to see what we can find, but I'm just here to talk about it. All right. There's a lot. So what caught my attention this morning was a thread. So we're gonna dive right in. 50 Cent showed up, and he telling us a little bit about what's going on. This shows and appears to be 50 Cent right here. Let me get y'all involved, but I think that's where we're gonna start at. And then we're just gonna have a conversation. We're just gonna have a conversation. So we're gonna start right here. Let me get y'all together real quick. Push them together. Hold up. I'm still new to this. I gotta give you a sec. I'm still new to this. I'm still getting everything set up, bro. We finna have some fun here, bro. If you don't know, you best know. Because we talking about everything. Ain't nothing off limits. And we gonna get highly analytical in here. Highly. So bring your Envision glasses, because we talking about it all, bro. Past, present, and future. I don't want your future. Okay? All right, let me show y'all what we starting at. I hope this works right. Let me see. Hey, y'all stop being nosy. Stop. All right, let me see real quick. Let me see. So we're going to start with this right here. Hold up. Stop.
It is a 50 Cent show. Like, publicly, people... 50 Cent, and it's a 50 Cent show. It is a 50 Cent show. Like, publicly, people look at it like it's presented by 50 Cent. It's 50 Cent. The story is from Southside Jamaica, Queens. Everything is...
My bad, y'all. Stop the show. Pause. Okay, listen. My bad. Before we get started, I'm going to give y'all some context. That's on me. The video y'all just watched is about this right here. Let's see. It's about this right here. Okay. So this show, if you don't know, was a banger. Period. This show is a banger. Can you click on it? Can you pull up? What's happening? This is Omari Hardwick. I'm sorry. This is one of the first TV shows I ever got into myself outside of Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is probably one of my number one TV shows I can watch over and over and over again. But Power is number two. This show was absolutely amazing every step of the way. Season one all the way out to the final season that they had. I watched every bit of it. 50 Cent is going to talk a lot about the control he had while running this show. There was a lot of things going on when this show was running. Amari Hardwick mentioned his pay could have been a little bit better. 50 Cent talked a little bit about his pay, about him not being, he wasn't a top A-list actor when 50 Cent recruited him for that show, or when he was recruited for that show. I think there's a little bit of speculation around it. So 50 Cent's right now talking about this show, the creative control he had, and I think he might speak a little bit on Amari Hardwick. The producer that he's speaking about of this show, I hope she came up. If she didn't come up, let me see. Go back. Let me see. Kim, what's her name? I'm gonna get it pulled up because specific. My mind ain't good, y'all. My mind, I've been through a lot. Okay, let me see. Let's do this. There we go. Courtney A. Kemp. I believe this is who he's talking about. So he's talking about in this video the creative control he had and what the trade-offs he had to participate in creating this show with Courtney A. Kemp. So this is what this video is talking about, what he had to do, what he felt about how everything was happening. So I want to give y'all that little backdrop before we even get too crazy into it. Let me fall back now. Y'all give me a second, 1 second. Okay. 1 second. Boost. There it is. All right, now watch this. Stop.
It is a 50 Cent show, and it's a 50 Cent show. It is a 50 Cent show. Like, publicly, people look at it like it's presented by 50 Cent. It's 50 Cent. The story is from Southside Jamaica, Queens. Everything is 50 Cent tied to the show. The music that's playing is 50 Cent. It got awkward for the writer, for the showrunner, because she felt like it was registering as a 50 Cent show instead of her show. And that turned into, it got weird with her behaviors and the things that was going on behind the scenes with her. And then it also was friction between her and Amari, because he was feeling like he was the lead and the star of the show. So she was having a problem with anybody who was leading the show because she felt like it was her show, like it was hers. And it was a show rightfully as a writer, but he is the star of the show. Omari would have died. Ghost Must Die. He would have died where Kanan died. That much earlier. She planned to kill Omari's character off right there.
Now
I'm like,
stop.
Nah.
Can I pause?
I can feel how the.
Yo, why can't I pause this video? Threads, I'm gonna need y'all to fix it. We need to be able to pause this video. So hold on a second, guys. So he just said that Courtney A. Kemp wanted to off Amari Hardwick right when 50 Cent's character got killed, when Kanan got killed. That was like early. Like we wouldn't even have. I mean, that's what, season 2 or 3? Or season 1? Listen, don't quote me again. My money good. I can't remember. But if she would have knocked him off that early, then that would have knocked off his representation completely and left us with the other characters. I mean, what kind of story would we have had without Amari Hardwick? Like running the whole thing for as long as he did. I mean, he made the show, no question. I'm not just saying that, like 100%. Omari Hardwick made the show. His stoicism or stoicness, being calm, controlling his emotions, showing that us as black men, we have character too. We have ways to express ourselves that doesn't always include a fight or anger. He showed a lot of range in that character, in that role. He made the show 100%. I know we got a lot of spinoffs, but those spinoffs don't happen if Amari Hardwick don't pave the way he did. So if she would have, I say all this to say, if she would have cut him off that early, I'm not sure the success we saw would have still been the same. But let's get back into it. My bad, y'all. I thought we could pause it. That's crazy.
Between her and Amari, because he was feeling like he was the lead and the star of the show. So she was having a problem with anybody who was leading the show because she felt like it was her show, like it was hers. And it was a show rightfully as a writer, but he is the star of the show. Omari would have died. Ghost Must Die. He would have died where Kanan died. That much earlier. She planned to kill Omari's character off right there. And I'm like, nah. I could feel how the general public was feeling about it. And I knew that was not the right decision. And I was saying, well, she said, well, then if he doesn't die, something has to happen. Something big has to happen. And I'm like, me, like kill my character. Like I got other shit to do. I could go be 50 Cent and then I don't have to be here anymore. Like, look, I took a pay cut to be there the entire time that I was on that show. Like that, I was being paid in the very beginning $17,000 per episode, while executive producing the show, being the music supervisor, pretty much for then doing the theme song and all the promotion and publicity. It wasn't until the third season that they would accept the show on Good Morning America without me being there. I'm technically the star of Power until I introduced everybody to it, and then Omari Hardwick turned into the star of Power.
Do you agree with them killing Ghost?
I wouldn't have killed him. The shit could still been running if it was right now. It just was creatively a decision that she made because she was not feeling him no more. It turned into almost hatred to him feeling like that.
Why? Why was there so much animosity? What did was Omari hard to work with, or was it that she wanted that much ownership of the show that she just didn't care for lead characters? Because, I mean, Omari looked like the type of dude who gonna pull up, do what you, I mean, you can tell. You can look at people and tell, for the most part, how it's gonna be working with him. You can look, and from that look and from that initial energy exchange, you can kind of tell. Omari Hart would seem like the type of dude who gonna pull up, do what you say, and get his money. So, I mean, what happened, 50? Was he hard to work with? Was there a beef or something? I don't know. But that's what 50 Cent talking about when it comes to Power, about how they wanted to kill Omari Hardwick off, or she wanted to kill him off exceptionally early. Now, were you going to replace him with somebody else? Were you just going to leave, Angela and the other characters to finish creating the show? Was it going to become like a female-led show? It's a lot of questions around what the show would have become if she killed off Omari Hardwick and Kanan, or Ghost and Kanan, right at the top. Now, that still would have left Tommy, so maybe she would have tried to spin a little something off of Tommy. But it's just a lot of questions there. Now, this point goes into a much larger point. All right? There's a lot of speculation and conversation going around the world right now about Black American representation in Hollywood. Now, big titles are going around right now. One of the biggest titles is Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman was the star of Black Panther. Rest in peace. He was killed off, died and killed off in Black Panther itself. And then Black Panther 2 did not recast a Black American leadership role. Black Panther 2 went into, they still had the regular cast outside of Chadwick Boseman, but the remaining cast, I think it pivoted to the Spanish coming out of the ocean and things like that. And then now we got Black Panther 3 coming out, and we'll just pull up the cast because it's a lot of speculation around who was just chosen to take that role. And that was David Johnson right here. So again, it's a lot of speculation online on him being a British actor and not an American actor, and how Black Panther hasn't seen a Black American male leadership role since the first movie. So it's a lot going on around that. So the speculation comes in around Black American male leadership roles in movies in modern times and in the past. We can look at it. But I think there's a discussion that's worth having here. Now, if we talk about Black American stories or stories that evolve around the Black American experience, a lot of these roles are being casted to non-Black Americans. Now, a lot of people gonna say, they still Black, they still Black. Do you guys remember what it felt like when Black Panther 1 was being marketed and when we first got a whiff of Black Panther? The lead role was a Black American, and all around the country, Black Americans primarily was doing what? You wouldn't see another Black person without you seeing them doing this after we saw the trailers and the previews and marketing behind Black Panther. Everybody was doing this. It was a movement. All right. And then Chadwick Boseman died. Again, rest in peace. But there was never another recast of a Black American lead that would have spread that kind of around the country like Black Panther 1 did. And then now we're seeing Black Panther 3, because Black Panther 2 didn't even have a Black American male lead role, because the woman was leading the Black Panther 2, but Black Panther 3 comes in and now it's a British actor. So 100%, I don't blame David Johnson at all. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. I don't blame him for taking that role, but are we seeing a pattern? Is the speculation that the internet has going on right now. So in order to look at that, we're gonna look at some things here. Now, we got some Black American stories that has been portrayed throughout our timeline. And we're going to go over the actors who portray these roles. These roles evolve around Black American stories. Now, we got Selma. Selma was a movie, and it had Martin Luther King Jr. in there and Coretta Scott King. It's focused on them. The male lead role was played by David Oyelowo. Oyelowo is what it looks like here. That's a British Nigerian. Let me see here. Where we at? Where y'all at with it? What y'all seeing? All right, let's switch y'all up. We're gonna go back right here. My bad, y'all. I was talking here. I didn't even see what I was doing. All right, so this is who played in Selma. This is, and we'll move quick here. This is a British Nigerian. That's Selma. That's a Black American story, right? No big deal. You want to cast who you want to cast for whoever was producing and directing those roles. That's what you want to do. So be it. Boom. We got one Black British Nigerian playing a Black American role. Now we move forward to Judas and the Black Messiah. When we move to Judas and the Black Messiah, you got Daniel Kaluuya. Daniel Kaluuya is who played that role. Now, he's a British actor and writer and producer and director as well, but he's British. No hate to your boy. I'm actually a huge fan of him. But going through the timeline and we look at these different movies about Black American stories, we're seeing a bit of a trend. All right? That's just the next movie. No big deal. The director wanted a British American actor. They got it. No big deal. We move on, right? Let's move on to I Want to Dance with Somebody real quick. This movie. Let's see. Whitney Houston was portrayed by, anybody know? Anybody know who Whitney Houston was portrayed by in this one? Naomi Aki. Naomi Sarah Aki is a British actress and producer from London. That is the third Hollywood movie that is portrayed by a British actor. This is a speculation around the internet. This is why everybody's talking. All right, just in case. Because a lot of people are saying on the internet, no big deal. They're still black. Why are we making a big deal about it? No big deal. I get it. These are the producers. These is who they wanted to choose for these movies. Why are we making a big deal out of it, right? But then the internet is feeling like, or the speculation around that's going around is, this is the third story about Black American experiences that's being portrayed by a British actor. So now it becomes a question of, are these all coincidences, or are we starting to see a pattern of repetition that people are starting to realize and call out? But let's move forward. We'll move forward from there. We're going to go to our next movie here, because this is why everyone's talking about Black Panther. This is why everyone's talking about Wonder Man being canceled. This is why everyone's talking about us not revisiting Blade. What's going on in Hollywood that seems to be preventing a lot of things that are evolving around a particular... I told y'all my mind ain't good, but it's good. A particular demographic. Now, we'll move on to the next one. Let's go Harriet. Harriet is a movie about Harriet Tubman, Black American story, from her escape from slavery, dangerous missions, led and liberated hundreds, right? This movie is portrayed by, where is she? Right here. This is Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia Erivo is an award-winning British actress, singer, and producer. This is the fourth story directly attached to Black American experiences portrayed by a non-Black American. This is the speculation. This is the fourth one. So when you do it one time, no big deal. What's the saying? Fool me twice, shame on me. You do it the second time, we're still like, no big deal. Why is everybody making a big deal? You're doing it a third time. Now we're showing patterns. Now we're showing consistency of a lack of representation of Black Americans. This is the patterns. This is not what I'm saying. This is a speculation that's going on around the internet. This is why there's a lot of hype around Black Panther, Wonder Man, Blade, which was an excellent franchise. And then now here we are on the fourth movie, Harriet. It's portrayed directly by another British actress or actor, right? All right. We're going to move on, though. No big deal. That's four, but it's not that consistent. Maybe, maybe not. But then we move on to One Night in Miami. One Night in Miami. This is a movie. We got Malcolm X, and they discussing responsibility and successful Black men during the Civil Rights Movement. Now, let me see. Who played this role? Let me see. This is him right here. This is Kingsley Ben-Adir. Kingsley Ben-Adir. This is a British Afro-Caribbean actor playing Malcolm X. That's what it's looking like here. Let's see. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah. So he played Malcolm X. And hold on, and it looks like he may even, yes. So we got a twofer here. So this is Kingsley Ben-Adir. This is another Black American story for anyone here who's like, what's the point? What are you getting at? What's the big deal? The speculation around the internet is this. There are largely, or there is a huge display of, in Hollywood, of Black American stories that are consistently being portrayed by British actors or actresses. So basically, all of these roles seem to be being compromised by British actors and actresses. Now, all day long, I understand the argument. They're still Black. We're all Black. I get it. I also understand on the opposite coin of that, that each of us have our own culture. And Black Americans, we have our own culture. There are others who have their own cultures as well. There are Blacks in Britain or Europe, Jamaican, anything like that. We all have our own cultures. But I believe what the Black Americans are seeing is a consistent lack of representation in their own stories. I just went over with you guys here about 4 different movies that were specifically about Black American stories that are being portrayed by non-Black Americans. So if it happens once, nobody can really say nothing. Not a big deal. If it happens twice, now I'm looking, but I'm not making a big deal because, okay, it is what it is. If it happens 3 times in a row, that may raise an eyebrow. Okay? If it happens more than 3 times in a row, it immediately stops being a coincidence and you start to understand the larger picture. What you see typically in front of you is only the first layer of reality. There's layers far beyond the first layer that you see, and that's planning, that's organization, that's marketing, that's strategy that led that reality to you. Because a lot of people are planning and organizing all the time, even when you don't realize it. So that's 4 stories in a row, right? Now we're going to pivot a little bit. In honor or, in ways to try to give Hollywood their credit, in ways to give Hollywood their credit, we're going to go back and we're going to look at some movies that had Black American male leadership and maintained it, or even still going to this day. Now, some of the first things that pop into mind when it comes to Black American male-led franchises or movies that were successful and still are successful today, a few things come to mind. Here's one. What y'all seeing? Y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Yo, y'all in there. Let's do it. Here's one. Training Day. Denzel Washington, can't deny him. He had his run. Training Day. This is from the early 2000s. Let me do this. Give me a second, y'all. Let me make this more organized for y'all. Give me a second. All right. So to give Hollywood their credit, here's Training Day. Now, this is from 2001. This is Denzel Washington. This movie was largely successful, period. It didn't get a part 2 or nothing like that. If it would have got a part 2, it would have been crazy, but how it ended, it was tough to get a part 2. Maybe you could go back. A part 2 to Training Day could be, you could go back and tell, of course, y'all know where I'm going. You could go back and tell Denzel Washington's younger story on how he became who he is. That would have been a nice continuation, but we had Training Day. Solid. No question. That's one that goes in the books as a Black American story that kept its juices. That's what we'll say here. Let's move on. Equalizer. Another Denzel Washington franchise, but we got the Equalizer here. All right. First one was amazing. Second one was amazing. Third one was amazing. I think they got a fourth one coming out. But it kept its traction. It kept its Black American male leadership role as well. So that was a good one. All right. Next we got John Q. Fire. All right. Now, I'm going to be real with y'all. Denzel Washington is taking up a lot of this. But these are the most successful franchises that had Black American male leadership roles to date. Stop that. What you doing? To date. All of these movies here. I just put them all in one so you can see them here. But we got Man on Fire. Right? What else? Inside Man. And then you got Remember the Titans. These are all Denzel Washington movies that were Black American male lead and you know, kept its liquidity or kept its value. Right? It didn't get changed in any kind of way. It didn't get recasted by someone else, another type. Next, y'all gonna like this one. We got this franchise. Black American male lead roles. You got Bad Boys. And that did well all the way up until the most recent one and here in 2024. All right. Then, now if you start to realize in these films that I'm calling out, these are the dominant male figures that was happening in this time frame, right? And all of these are originating back to the early 2000s when these franchises were originally started, and that's going to come into a good point here in a second on why I say that. Here's another one. Here's Men in Black. Who do you see here? It's Will Smith again, who you just saw in Bad Boys. Right? This is Black American male roles that did well and are continuing to do well. Here's I Am Legend. That's Will Smith again. And then we got another I Am Legend movie coming out. Right? But these are all the same, within the same realm of actor. Will Smith, Denzel Washington, and Martin Lawrence we saw as well. These are all from the early 2000s. I'm going to drop both of these in here because they really count as one. Here's another one. Ali, 2001, Will Smith. Hancock, which was a banger, 2001, Will Smith, right? Now, as we move away from the early 2000s and we move towards the mid 2000s, we started to pick up who know who coming next. Who the movie gurus out here who know who coming next when it comes to Black American male lead roles. Boom. Michael B. Jordan pops up on the scene with Creed. He also had Fruitvale Station, but he pops up on the scene with Creed. This is in 2015 when the next like global Black American male lead role was doing numbers, was being, look, Creed 2015, it maintained Michael B. Jordan. 2018, look at the success. It maintained Michael B. Jordan again. Creed 3, 2023, which was fire again. I watched that. So as you move away from that, you see that from 2001 to 2008, it was dominated by really the same person, essentially, just in threes. You got Denzel Washington, Will Smith, and Martin. You had some Eddie Murphys too. I'm not sure why Eddie Murphy didn't make the list, but of course you got Eddie Murphy, the Nutty Professor, Norbit, can't forget that. But then when you hit 2018, you run into this. Now we see Chadwick Boseman. We get our first Black Panther. World goes crazy. We fell in love with Black Panther because it was ours. Chadwick Boseman represented all the Black Americans who, you know, felt that way or felt, you know, whatever was going on at the time. That was us. That movie, it's gonna be hard to replicate that feeling in any of the other ones because we were solely connected to that movie with Chadwick Boseman being the leadership role. Now, after he died, he was not his role was not recasted. He just died, and they moved the Black American male lead role that, you know, could still be there now, was just completely displaced. You saw in Black Panther 2, it was a Black woman led against a male Spanish led going. I mean, I that was 2. And then 3, we got the son of T'Challa being played by David Johnson, as y'all seen. But this just happened in 2018. We got King T'Challa. And then he did 42 as well, Jackie Robinson. And then finally in 2017, I know y'all like, bro, what this dude talking about, bro? Yeah, bro. I don't explain it like 5 times to make sure y'all keep up. But all right, here we go. Daniel Kaluuya. This is in 2017. So this is after Black Panther. This is after 42. This isn't this is before Black Panther, but after 42. With Chadwick Boseman. So Get Out 2017 is the next male-led role of a movie, but Daniel Kaluuya is let me see. Just to be sure here. So he's a British actor. That's a British actor. But the next big movie we got really, as far as, because we seen Black Panther, and that was huge when it comes to Black male-led roles. And then the next one was Get Out, 2017, as far as like Black American male-led roles. But this is Daniel Kaluuya, who's British. So this is why the internet speculates. Right? Where's the Black American leadership roles and why are they being discontinued or pushed back in one way, shape, or form? So these are the movies from the early 2000s all the way to 2017 that had Black male roles, American male roles, leadership roles that did not kind of fall off. But as you can see here, it's like a handful. With like 3 different actors. Denzel Washington, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of movies in between. But we talking about to the caliber of Training Day. We talking about to the caliber of Black Panther. We talking about to the caliber of Bad Boys, right? To the caliber of Creed, to the caliber of Hancock. Right? These are, mega movies. When you look at those movies and you look at the roles of being led, there are very few, is what we're saying here. So moving on. Let me see. So what we've been discussing here, it started out with 50 Cent. Y'all see here that he is mentioning, okay, that his creative control, he didn't have much creative control, and he didn't want Omari Hardwick to die at all. But just to recap, he had to fight against the writer or the director, Courtney A. Kemp, who was trying to kill off the Black American male role right at the beginning. And 50 Cent was like, yo, I had to put my own foot in there and say, hey, hold on, no, we're not gonna do that. And as he mentioned, if it was up to him, Omari Hardwick would still be running that show, which 100% a lot of folks would still be watching. So question behind that, why does Omari Hardwick's character have to be killed off so quickly? Why is that in the schematic? Why is that something that has to be fought right at the beginning? Right? So then we pivoted from that to look at Black American male roles in Hollywood. And what we found, we went through each movie. We went through different movies that pertain to Black American stories. Selma, David Oyelowo, British Nigerian. He represented Martin Luther King. And even Coretta Scott King was represented by Carmen Ejogo. And that's a British Nigerian actress. Then we went over Judas and the Black Messiah. Fred Hampton, Black American, played by Daniel Kaluuya. That's a British American actor. Then we moved on to I Want to Dance with Somebody. This is Whitney Houston. That's a Black American. Whitney Houston herself is a Black American. She was played by Naomi Ackie, a British actress. We're seeing consistency. So when the internet speculates and says Black American roles, why are they being cut? We need to have a conversation about it. What we're seeing is a lot of other Black nationalities saying, why? What's the big deal? We're still Black. We're all Black. But the question the internet has is, well, why our stuff is being consistently represented by someone else? Right? If there's a Jamaican story, you would want a Jamaican playing that role. If there's a British story about a British person, and a lot of Europeans are connected to that story because it's a British story, and then you get a Black American actor to play that British story, and you do that consistently, how would Europe feel about that? Right? So I think the internet is saying, and Black America is saying, why in our stories, movies, TV shows, are we consistently being either A, recasted by non-Black Americans, so we don't see any Black American leadership or representation in Hollywood, or why is our roles or movies or TV shows being canceled altogether? Brings me to our next point, right? Our next point is about recent developments that we have debated. And we go right into T'Challa. Black Panther 3 is being represented by a British actor. And Black Panther, a lot of people are saying it's an African story. It originated in Africa, things like that. I think the internet is saying when you talk about Black Panther, how did that originate? Where did that come from? A lot of people are saying, of course, it comes from the Black Panther Party. Some other people are saying the people who created Black Panther created it before the Black Panther Party existed. There's a lot of speculation out there, but I think in the Black Panther story, maybe a lot of us can agree on its foundation is about oppression. And I think the internet feels like, where's that happening at? Or a lot of people feel like, that's a Black American story. It started as a Black American story with Chadwick Boseman, and he was just never recasted. So I get it. On the opposite end, it's an African story. Africans should be involved. British, any Black people should be able to be involved. But then on the other end, you got Black Americans saying, why every time we're involved, we end up eventually getting hijacked one way or another, because it wasn't one movie that was replacing Black Americans, but then you saw 2 or 3 other ones that had Black Americans. It was almost every story that had anything to do with Black American stories are all seeming to be casted outward to Europe. These are valid arguments on both sides. But moving on to my third and final point, because I know we've been here for a minute. But T'Challa was not recast, period. So they completely removed that typecast. Now Black Panther 3 has David Johnson, right? Not Black American. A lot of Black Americans feel some type of way about that. Blade. Let's look at Blade here. And let's see if we can get some recent information. Was it a movie or a TV show coming out? 2026. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm tripping. Give me a second. One second, guys. One second. Okay, so it's a movie. Here we go. So Marvel's Blade movie does not have a release date, as Disney removed it from the official release calendar, and speculation points to a launch in 2028 or later. So this is what I had said at the beginning of the video. Some people are saying it's being canceled. It looks like apparently it's being continuously pushed back. This is one of the frustrations. Blade in the early 2000s was a mega hit. Let me see. Matter of fact, let's use ChatGPT. Let's start here. Y'all, look at that. Do y'all see that? Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Y'all gotta tell me something. Put it in the chat. Y'all gotta put it in the chat, bro. Y'all gotta say something. All right, listen. I'm gonna keep my eyes on her and make sure y'all straight. But listen. So this is what we've been going over here. But let me see. Here's Blade. All right. This is what Blade did. Blade in 1998, its budget was $45 million. The worldwide box office was like triple that. $131 million. It was a big hit. Blade 2, 2002 drops, right? $54 million. Huge hit. Worldwide box office, $155 million. I mean, tripled it damn near again. Even bigger hit. So the first two movies out of the franchise, out of the water. Blade Trinity. This one was still solid. It was still solid. $65 million was the approximate budget. And then it did only $132 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's double, almost, not quite triple. It's a little bit weaker, but it still did great. So I'm showing y'all this to show, okay, the first two films earned roughly 3 times their production budget. What I said, critical impact. The original Blade received generally positive reviews. So I'm showing y'all that to say the last movie came out in 2004, and we obviously see this is a very profitable franchise. We've seen in Hollywood that they consistently redo old movies or old franchises. They consistently redo those. I could pull up plenty of examples, but we're gonna move fast here. So when you look at Blade, the new movie supposed to it was look like it was scheduled for November 7th, 2025. Now, it's been a decade. Look at that. It's been 2 decades since Blade has been revisited in a movie way. I know they had a TV show come out. I don't know how that did. I didn't watch it myself, but it's been 2 decades since Blade has been revisited already, right? And we already know that it's a lucrative franchise. Looks like the last date was scheduled for November 7th, 2025. So the first question of the internet is, why are we waiting all the way until 2025 for Blade to even be revisited? And the fact that it is being revisited November 7th, 2025, it's still being pushed back. What are your thoughts? Black American male-led series. What are your thoughts? Now, there was speculation on the casting of Blade, and we got to look at that actor and see. But that was speculation. Nothing happened with that. This guy right here. This guy right here. No, I don't want to. No, what are y'all doing? I don't want to agree to nothing. All right, here we go. What we got here? See, he was announced to originally be Blade. Let me see what we got. Boom. Award-winning American actor. Let me see. Now hold on a minute. He's won 2 Academy. Oh yeah, Oakland, California. Oh yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, period. Award-winning actor. So yeah, this was who was originally cast to be Blade. We don't know what happened with that. Let me see if I can go back. It's been 6 years since a new Blade film starring Mahershala Ali was first announced. Yet a troubled development process has meant cameras have yet to even start rolling on the project. Boom. So going back to the original point, so we can wrap it up here, guys. All right. So we can wrap it up here. All right. Because that's wild. Blade is going, yeah. So that's going to be a banger no matter what. And then to wrap it up, guys, the last thing we're going to discuss here is Wonder Man. Have you personally seen Wonder Man? Yes or no? It's a Disney Plus. It's a Disney Plus TV show. I'm a huge fan of this guy. Wonder Man, I have not seen it myself, but with the speculation going around it and all the great reviews I'm hearing about it, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go watch it. But look at this. This is a Black American male-led role, just like Blade, right? Just like what Black Panther was supposed to be from, the internet speculation from movie 1 to not being recasted at all. Here's another one. So on top of Black American stories being primarily compromised and represented by British actors and actresses, when you look at what could be still going on in America, that's Black American male-led, right? Here's Wonder Man, Council. Blade. They're not saying it's canceled, but it's continuously being pushed back. T'Challa. That started as a Black American-led role, not recasted at all. Second movie was what it was. Third movie, British actor. We go back, right? Selma, British actor. Judas and the Black Messiah, British actor. I Want to Dance with Somebody, representing Whitney Houston herself, Black American, represented by Naomi Aki, British actress, right? Harriet Tubman, Black American Story, represented by Cynthia Erivo, British actress. One Night in Miami, Malcolm X, represented by Kingsley Ben-Adir, British actor, right? So are Black Americans wrong for noticing the consistent pattern of lack of representation when it comes to Black male and Black female American-led roles and movies in this country, right? Do they have a claim? Do we have a claim? Do we have a point? Does the internet have a point that this is not a coincidence that everyone should just look over, but yet this seems to be a very specifically managed process that is moving in a particular direction undeniably, right? That's what we're seeing. A lot of people have spoke about Ryan Coogler, saying, well, he's the director. A lot of directors in these movies, in these shows, are sometimes Black American people themselves, Black Americans themselves, who are producers and directors. So a lot of people are saying with Ryan Coogler, they said they trust Ryan Coogler. A lot of people are saying, you know, we're still seeing the inconsistencies, even with it being Ryan Coogler, of non-Black American leadership. Now, I pose a question. Are movies becoming strategically empowered to do specific things to society? Or in other words, are movies becoming too politically charged, right? A lot of division is happening because Black Americans feel like our stories are being consistently detracted from the very people that the stories are about. But the internet is saying Black is Black. We should not even have those conversations. Where do we meet in the middle? Who has a point, right? Where we at with it? What are your thoughts? Is this consistency? Are we seeing patterns? Or is this just the typecast of Hollywood and we shouldn't take it personally? But that within itself, you would have to kind of dissect. So what are your thoughts? All right. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Gather your thoughts here while we wrap this up. Because it's crazy. So before we wrap this up, I got 3 big takeaway questions for you guys. I want you to ponder on, leave it in the comments if you come up with an answer for me. All right. First question is going to be, at what point do individuals, or at what point do individual decisions stop being coincidences and start becoming a pattern? Who gets trusted to tell Black American stories? And who gets the opportunity to become the face of those stories? And last but definitely not least, 10 years from now, will the next generation have as many iconic Black American male film characters as the previous generations did with us, with things like Bad Boys, Hancock, all Denzel Washington movies, any Black male-led role, Black Panther 1, all of that? Will the next 10 years or the next decade see that? Or will they not see any Black American male-led role movies at all? Or very few? That's where we at. So y'all let me know your decision. I've seen this. It's a lot going on around it, and I wanted to kind of touch on it. But y'all let me know your thoughts, because this is big. It's vibrating all around the internet, and it's not going away. So let me know your thoughts. Before you go, I'm going to leave you with this. Did you know the first feature film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture with an almost entirely Black cast was Moonlight 2016, which won the Oscar in 2017. Moonlight. That's on Disney Plus. It wasn't just a milestone for Black cinema. It became one of the most celebrated independent films in modern history. So no, this is not in modern history, proving that deeply personal stories could resonate with audiences around the world. All right. Representation in film isn't just about who's on screen. It's also about whose stories get told and who gets the opportunity to tell them, and how those stories connect with audiences worldwide, right? That's it. That is it. Now, let me look up Moonlight 2016 because I feel like I got that wrong. That's not what I thought it was. This movie. Our guy right here, Mahershala Ali. This was the movie. I'm talking about Disney Plus, y'all. This was a movie right here. All right. It did great. So that's where I'll leave y'all, man. Appreciate you for pulling up. It's a lot going on, and I'm here to dissect it all. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to things like this, I'm the white guy. We can have the conversation. We can talk about intentions all day long, but y'all got to be here with me. Y'all got to pull up and show out. You know what I'm saying? Drop a comment and we going to dissect. All right? But appreciate y'all for being here. We going to get up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all stay hydrated and take care of yourself first and foremost. As we load out, think of one good thought for yourself and keep it with you all day long. You'll feel better by the end of the day. We out of here.